about to drop 3 interviews. One with Sianka, one with Tigo B, and then one with Mez, this artist named Mez.
Oh, dope. I always see Sianka. I was like, all right, so we're going to go. All right, cool. All right, so for this episode of the Mental Threads podcast, you will be 167.
167? That's what I like to
But the
hear,
17th
man.
live episode, basically. So it's
17th. Okay.
Yeah, so this season is the 3rd season, so we're just kind of starting out.
What episode did you start on here?
In this studio, I started it, I think it was 151st episode.
Damn.
Because every season I just kind of do something different. First season was like 50, second season was like 100 extra episodes, and then this season 50 live episodes. So that's pretty much how we're doing.
Yes, sir. We live. Mental Threads podcast.
Mental Threads podcast. That is so
here. Getting it done.
No, it is. Okay, but that's it. Hello. Nice for Adrian Nyce to join me here for the Mental Threads podcast. Adrian Nyce, would you like to say something?
Yes, sir. Mental Threads. Nice for Adrian Nyce to be in here. Yes.
Adrian Nyce of the Mouthin podcast. I know a couple
in
people
the building.
I've seen. Yes. I first met Adrian back, I think, was it 2 years ago?
That was definitely probably 2 years
for the 24-hour podcast. That's where I met Miss Guy I Love and everything. And also amongst a couple other people. I know Long Live Wolf, I think. I didn't know he was even going to show up to that one.
He was at that one?
Yeah.
It's 2 other girls. They started doing a podcast in here, too.
Yes, right after you. Hold on. Yeah, I remember. Oh, my gosh. I forgot
her
their
name
names.
was Nikki?
Yeah, she was,
Nikki,
I remember.
It was two black girls, yeah.
Crazy, I remember that, like, she went to NCA&T, but I can't remember her
name. She definitely out there right now.
That's
turning up for the G-Ho.
That's that ADHD, man. I might forget your name. I remember, like, some weird fact about you.
But it was a lot going on that day, too. So
yeah, for 24 hours, man. That was crazy. What led you to want to do it for 24 hours? Just an idea.
The whole streaming wave, man. The whole streaming wave. You know, I pay close attention to like Kai, Aiden Ross, and other streamers, and that was a thing that they were doing. 24 hours live streaming, and nobody was doing around here. So I was like, let me do it. Let me interview people. That's like you said, how I met you.
Yeah, that's definitely Aquarius, because it's like once we see it was like, oh, nobody else did this. Okay, I'm gonna do this now.
Yeah, gotta pioneer while nobody else on it.
Yeah, but back to you though. Like, who is Adrian Nyce? Like, where do you come from?
Who am I, or where do I come from?
I mean, both hand in hand. Like, you can pretty just come to start off with.
Me, I am a music journalist, podcast host, YouTube specialist, and a film producer and director. I'm from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Was raised in Fort Mill, South Carolina. So I've lived in like the Charlotte area my whole life.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fine. I actually work in Fort Mill. Well, basically, I'm mostly remote, but it's just like that's my headquarters.
That's where headquarters
for the LPL Financial. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. Yeah, for real. They're doing like some Halloween thing, I think, on the 25th. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to bring my cousins or not. And everything.
What type of Hollywood thing?
I have no clue.
A little co-working thing?
Whatever. That's 5 hours extra pay, bro. I don't have to.
Oh, y'all get paid to go there?
Yes. And I'm just like, okay, what? Oh, what? Really? Okay, I'm going to sign up. Just put me there.
That's hilarious.
And everything. But it's like, like you said it, that you pretty much lived in the Charlotte area your whole life and everything. And how do you identify in regards to the Charlotte area and like Fort Mill? It's like, I see Charlotte as being a big like underdog city. Would you feel like that's kind of true? And like in your presentation?
Underdog city?
Yeah, that's how I see it. Like underdog.
Yeah. Well, Charlotte, a lot of people just compare it to Atlanta. It's like a small Atlanta, but Charlotte is its own thing. Like, as much as we will get compared to Atlanta, it's only because like Atlanta's fully established already. It's full, so it's its own industry. We're becoming our own industry. We're becoming our own established thing, but we're just different. You know what I'm saying? Like, we act different. We talk different. We're still like a mix between New York and Florida, just like Atlanta is, but just, we're our own thing, and we're growing.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, people don't even realize Charlotte is actually larger, like in terms of like square mileage and everything, and populace. We're actually the bigger city, but Atlanta's like the bigger city. You know what I'm saying? Right. In terms of like pop culture,
it's you know what I'm saying. It's a lot going on in Atlanta, and Charlotte has a lot going on too. But just it is what it is.
both southern metropolitans and everything.
For sure.
But I feel like, one thing that I always bounce back about Atlanta, and this is like one moment, I think, because I was at Dreamville this year, and I was there at the events that they had before Dreamville and everything, and it's like we had to do a Q&A, I think, with some of the artists, and I did a Q&A with like a JID, and you had to ask one question and everything.
You did a Q&A?
No, he did the Q&A. I was just in line to ask a question.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I ain't there yet, but it's coming. But yeah, it's like you just had to add one question, which was weird because there was a guy in front of me asked like 3 questions. I want to punch him in the back of the head, like, bro, you're taking them all the time.
All the time.
And everything. But it's like basically because, Jid is from like, Atlanta and everything, and he has his own sound. And like there's so many different sounds from Atlanta as a whole.
That's how Charlotte is.
Yeah, it's not just trap and everything. You have the Andre 3000s, you have the JID, JID and everything, Southern poets and everything like that. Right. Lyricists. That's all. I was looking for the word lyricist. But it's like I really just asked JID. It's like because like Charlotte and Atlanta are just kind of two sides of the same coin. Just one's just more influence in population and pop culture and everything, and one's a little bit more like kind of I don't want to say underrated, but we're in the cut. We're just we're getting there. Right. Stuff. But it's just like I just wanted to ask JID. It was just like, like how do we work as like a city to actually like put the city on, like as artists wise. Right. And he really said what I knew what he was gonna say. What did he say? He just said it's just like all they did was collaborate with each other. Everybody collaborated with each other and everything. And I feel like
it's a little more than that, I think.
A little bit more than that. But I feel like the key foundation takeaway is that there was so many different people who was willing to work with each other to build each other's brand.
I mean, yes, but like I've said in like other interviews, we just need more individuals or entities that are knowledgeable about the industry. Like South Coast is a perfect example. Like they know how to take an artist, drop the record, artist development, drop the record, and then take them through like a radio circuit. Or they know how to work the record, get it radio spent, and all this type of stuff. We don't have other individuals, many individuals that are helping, teaching, picking people, giving them the opportunity to do that type of stuff. So it really is just kind of like an infrastructure type of thing.
Yeah, that is true. We have nothing organized entirely.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
Right. And it's not, so like more labels that are just knowledgeable about it. You go to Atlanta, there's hella labels. You know what I'm saying? And then media too, like there's ton of like smaller medias like me, you, I'm just other people too, but we don't have really like a No Jumper podcast or like a academics, Joe Budden, nobody of that stature. Breakfast Club, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that stuff will help. You know what I'm saying? Agencies that are like getting these brand deals and just all that. We need all of that.
Yeah, and it's just like that's why like podcasting is like so important because like not just with the Mouthing Out podcast, but even like Mental Threads podcast as well. And then the G Rich show. I'm not sure if you know about the G Rich show, right? Yep. Yeah, it's like and that's just all I know from the top of my head. I know there's others too.
Yeah, I've been actually making like a list of podcasts, video podcasts specifically. Just in the area, just because I actually want to launch like a podcasting directory just for that purpose so people can know. Because after I get done with my interviews, they ask me like, what other podcasts are around here?
Yes.
So it'll be good to just have like a little thing that I can send them to and they can.
And it's a great way to build like community too. Cause like building community all comes down to who you know and who does what. And it's just like, that's why it's like, I'm not sure you know about the Charlotte Spark event that's coming up, right?
Talk to me.
Oh my goodness. It's crazy you don't know. See, like it's my friend Trey Rhodes. I had him on the last episode. He has this event coming up. You could be able to check it on Posh. I'm not sure if you got the Posh app. But literally it's called Charlotte Spark. This is the third one he's done actually. And what he would do is he would just kind of get some space and everything and just kind of do like a little mini fest with like with the independent artists and everything. And it's just like about like 10, 25 to get in. Not too crazy and everything. So like, if you have some time, like on the 25th, that's when
of October?
Yeah, 25th of October. I
might have to check that out.
Yeah, seriously, definitely check it out. It's a good way to check in and see if you can get more interviews too. I know Hadex is going there. Sam DeNovo is going there. Who is Mimi something? I forgot her.
Mimi.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking. No, you don't. But anyway, yeah, it's like that's the beautiful thing too. So just imagine all the new artists you're gonna meet. So it's like I went there last year and they did a Starlight. I'm not sure if you know about a Starlight on 22nd or whatever. You don't know about Starlight?
Look, you put me on stuff right now.
Good. I'm glad.
Nah. What I tend to do is like I might know about it, but I got to see like the flyer.
That's okay.
Like sometimes I just go through the internet and I collect. Instead of going and write them down and try to go to them.
It's okay. I'll show you a flyer. It's no big deal. It's just no quick interlude and everything.
25th. 25th though.
Yep, right here. You can see right here. It's the poster.
Oh no, I ain't seen that. Okay,
You
okay.
ain't seen that?
Yeah,
Good.
I ain't seen
At least
that.
I
Yeah, you put me on.
Definitely try to pull up and everything. I'll send you the link for
share me.
Pasha,
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
and everything. But it's just like Trey. I feel like you and Trey, if you never met him before, like, you
I think I have met him before.
Probably met him before. Okay. Well, he's definitely someone to link in with. He's from Augusta, Georgia, but he's made Charlotte like his home and everything. You know, like when you grow up and everything, then you see a city, it's like, okay, this is my dream city. I'm gonna stay here. That was pretty much his situation. So now he's like a Charlottean by extension, because of what he was willing to do for the city to set up all these events for other artists to perform at and everything. Right. So it's like, it's good now that we have these things like podcasts and everything where we can be able to converse, get into people's backgrounds, so other people can check it out. It's like, oh, what, Adrian Nyce has a podcast too? Oh, okay. Now I'm just knowing this person. It's like, oh, what, hold up, Toasty doing a podcast? Okay, this sounds really cool. So now it grows from there, and that's what's kind of beautiful about us doing this and putting this work in and taking this time to have these conversations and everything, because you never know. You didn't even know about this event. This event has been put up for like a while now, and now it's going on next week, and you might even consider.
Now I'm going to go. Yeah.
Now you're going to go.
25th. I don't think I have anything. What's that? Fridays?
Let me check and see. I'm pretty sure it must be a Friday. Yeah, it should be a Friday.
I gotta hit him up, see if I can get media access.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Even if it don't get no media, it's definitely just good to just swing by, because he sets up vendors and everything too, and everything. Last time I was there, when he had that Starlight, there was like a weed vendor. There was like a spiritual necklace vendor. Person. Yeah. I got one of the necklaces right here from his stuff. Totus Totems.
What is that? What does that mean?
Yes, it's like usually they be selling all types like rocks on necklaces, like lapis lazuli for your brain, and I think pyrite is for like manifestation, that's vibes and stuff like that. But it's like stuff like that. But it's just how he organizes it, from the ground up. It's like, okay, you see the consistency. He's putting the work in to set these events
need more
up. Yes, and that's what he's putting it in, and it's getting bigger every year.
Good.
So just imagine where it's going to be like 3 years from now, then 5 years from now, a decade from now, possibly. Right. So it's just like definitely someone that you want to like tap in with for sure. But I don't know.
I'm gonna have to pop up.
But keep in mind that this is your episode, so you can just go on about this for a while. But when it comes to your background and everything, values, like how did you grow up? Because I know you say you were born in Fort Mill and everything. How would you describe your livelihood of growing up and everything?
I had a pretty smooth upbringing. It wasn't too bad or anything like that. My mom worked very hard, though. I will say that. My mom worked very hard, single mom. She worked at the hospital. She did like ultrasound.
Oh.
So, while she was usually at work and I was usually playing with my neighbors or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Besides that, it was pretty smooth. In high school and everything, that's when I kind of got into like video and everything like that. Discovered Movie Maker, so I was able to like manipulate. I found out you can manipulate the video images. It wasn't just like record and then you can upload. It's just you can manipulate it. And then I was very into like running and stuff like that too. So like video and running were like my main things. Have been my main things like my whole life.
Okay, cool. That's dope. All right. So it's like getting back into like value. What in terms of like your values and everything as an individual, what are some things that you value as an individual?
Values
like loyalty,
Yeah, I got you. I'll probably say what I like to stand on is like one, work ethic. Mm-hmm. Work ethic. Like I want to outwork you. Like you know what I'm saying? People, that's just like I like people around me to have like work ethic. Another thing is like persistence. Mm-hmm. So like I don't usually take no for an answer, or a no response. I don't take that as a no. I just keep trying or find another way to get around. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is probably just like believing, like belief, just whatever it is, just sticking to that. Believe it, plan it, believe it, do it, type of thing.
Yeah, sticking to visionary. You'd say like would you say you're like a visionary yourself? Or something?
Yeah, for sure. Like I have a vision.
You got to realize it and everything.
Nah, for sure, and that's the hard part. I think sometime in my past I was having trouble with that. Like I would have these great ideas, but sometimes you can get stuck in thought. Mm-hmm. Like you have these great ideas and you're kind of stuck on planning the whole thing out, but you never get to the doing of the idea. So
And
at some point you got to do it.
It can be kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
You could overwhelm yourself with just too many ideas, which I can understand.
For sure.
Yeah, from Aquarius to another, I
For
get
sure.
it. Like I feel like I forgot a whole lot more things.
You gotta
write
them down.
Love to write it down and everything. That's why I like people like, why you got so many notebooks? Like, what if I got an idea? I don't want to like forget about it and everything. So it's just like, yeah, it's nice that you kind of pointed that out for sure. Now, in regards to like another thing, what are some hobbies and interests that you have?
Again, running. I love to run. In like like 2020, 2019, I got into like boxing. So I like to box. Just really, I'm kind of like I like outdoor shit. I like outdoor shit. So I like hiking. I'll go jump out a plane, like any of that type shit. I like doing that shit.
I like hiking and I like jumping out of planes.
Yeah, for real, man. Rock climbing, like all that shit, bro.
Okay, cool. That's nice. Now, in regards to the origins of the Mouthin Out podcast, what reached that point? It's just like what led up to like you wanting to be a podcast?
So, I went to film school after high school. Got a 2-year degree in film, video production. So I was doing films and commercials and other things, and I wanted to produce like a TV show. So I was going to be Mouthin Out, and this was like 2015. Then after that, we shot a couple episodes, but we didn't release anything because I ended up going to Run Across America.
Oh.
So I went to Run Across America, and we just filmed a documentary on that.
That's dope.
Yeah. So that took 3 months or whatever. But so then from 2016 to like 2020, nothing happened. And then, no. When I got done running, I started producing podcasts. So like I would come, like if you had your show, I would be behind the camera, make sure the lighting's are right, cameras, all that, edit it. And then we launched it in 2020.
Oh, okay. So the Mouthin Out podcast launched in 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
Oh, okay. That's dope. What really led to you coming out with the name Mouthin Out podcast?
I was trying to think of a name. I think I was watching Wildin' Out, and then I heard like Wildin' Out, Mouthin Out. Yeah, I'll take that. Mouthin' Out. Mouthin Out.
Dude, ideas are a motherfucker, bro. I swear. Like, it's just like when I came up with the Mental Threads podcast, I was just playing on Pixar. It's like an app where you could just pretty much make, types of album covers, stuff like that. And I saw this weird image and everything, like the brain being sewed up. It's like, hey, that's weird, dope. But that's cool at the same time. Yeah, and I'm like, then I'm like, let me do something. It's like, okay, Mental Threads. Okay, mental, and then there's a thread. Okay, this would actually look like a good logo, but for what? I like podcasts. Like, look, I wonder if I can turn this into a podcast. Next thing you know, I turned it into an actual podcast logo. And then I just put it on my vision board. And I'm just like, one day I'm going to get this one eventually. And then it just started off with just me just doing like, just doing it by myself, just talking about life to life stuff. And then I'm like, I need to bounce off some things. And then it's just like I started like interviewing people like my grandfather and stuff like that. And then it was just like, I like talking to people. Let's keep it going and everything. And then it was just like, because originally it was a project, I think, for like me and my grandfather. And I'm like, what? This actually sounds like it could make a good episode. I just upload the audio. I'm like, what? I'm going to keep this format. And then I just kept talking to people. Then I set goals from that. I started meeting all types of people, other artists, and networking off the jump with that. And then I just started setting up deadlines and stuff like that. And then I stopped using like so much equipment. I would just, I could just do this with my phone. Like, why am I doing this?
Right. I like when we first started, I had this life-size desk that I brought everywhere. It was very heavy, graffiti style. We had our logo on the front of the desk, but I would pull up the places that you normally wouldn't see it, like the club or whatever the case may be. So everybody's like looking like, what the fuck is that? Because I know how to produce a show. So they're like, this is something you'll see in Cali, or this is something you'll see in New York, or just the bigger cities. But I'm bringing it here in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? But it's very too heavy, and
it was becoming more problematic.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's just you really could do a lot more with a lot less. Like sometimes you don't need to have like so much and everything. Although maybe down the line, maybe make it a little better.
Yeah, now that I'm more like in studio, I definitely will probably bring back the desk, but it's in LA right now in storage, so I gotta go get it first.
Oh, so you left it in LA basically.
Yeah. With the plan, like I'm eventually come back, which I'm trying to go back probably at the end of this year. I'm trying to go back, just do my podcasting thing out there for a while.
Oh, okay, and like when are you considering going back to LA?
At the end of this year.
At the end of this year?
At the end of this year, man. Yeah, just because the amount of artists like higher level or just more serious artists that come through there versus like that comes through here is just like different for sure.
Yeah, and it's like I could understand that to a certain degree because it's like I know I saw that one episode with the baby on Drink Champs and everything. He did make a great one statement and everything that Charlotte is like, it's weird because I don't want to talk down my city, but it's just like, you know, it's just like we don't really fuck with people until like they're from out the city, and then when we're from the city, it's like people just they act like they just don't fuck with you like that, and it's just like you know,
Charlotte's very cliquish.
Yeah.
It's very cliquish for sure.
But they seem to dick ride people outside the city a lot more. That's why I've noticed and everything that if you really got to make it big in Charlotte, you got to make it big somewhere else.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of like, you know, you think about it, like you've seen this dude grow up from nothing. Like you've seen him when he was nothing, and now he's trying to do this art form, whatever it is, and make it. And yeah, he's accomplishing things, but you know, you're seeing his whole thing. Yeah, just not. But then this other guy comes that you haven't seen. You're just gonna give him. It's just a different type of perception.
You're more fascinated because you don't see the ground up type stuff. I guess it's just like we need to really learn to romanticize our own familiarity. I feel like that's what it really is. Sometimes.
With your friends, man, believing in them. You never know when they'll pop. You know, plenty of people will say this, but we used to see, you know, the baby himself.
In a diaper, walking around.
Yeah, but even before that, just like he would be at all the clubs handing out flyers, you know, handing out stickers and all this other type stuff. You know, he was just everywhere putting in the hustle work, and they'd be like, "Why are you doing this?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
gotta make
you're not,
shape.
You know, whatever. But now look at him.
Yeah, man, that's like that's why I'm always like support the baby for real because it really takes a lot to make something shake from the city, bro. Like especially like, you know, like becoming something global too and everything and having like a style. Like, yeah, sure, people might say like it's formulaic to a certain degree, but at the same time, it was just like he wasn't no slouch. He was a good lyricist and he was good. He was killing the freestyles and everything and putting the city on regardless. Right. And it's like, you know, it's just like that's something that should garner inspiration, you know. Right. And it's sad how it isn't like a whole wave of people just yet, but it's coming. Like I can feel like it's coming.
I mean,
you know,
it just hasn't been because people aren't ready. That's really what it is. Because the baby, when he was coming, I mean, his whole label was all North Carolina artists. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if they're not continuing to rap or they're not on a certain level or whatever the case may be, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? Opportunity comes a knocking, you need to be ready, you know what I'm saying?
Gotta be ready. You gotta plan ahead of time too, in terms of like what do you want.
But it also goes back to that infrastructure type of thing. He's with South Coast, which is the premier indie label of North Carolina. South Coast has the baby, it has 2C, it has Tia Corinne, it has these other artists. So they have a formula, you know, so they're putting these artists through. I don't know any other labels that's kind of blowing artists like that. 2C's global too.
Yeah, 2C is global. I saw Tia Corinne like literally like at Dreamville last year and everything. And I was like, oh yes, woo, because like you see their name all on social media all the time locally. So like when you see them at that point, you can't help but just garner like positive feeling. That's why I can never really understand people who like, you know, just like go about just hating type shit like that. Like it's okay, but it's just like that's just like a weird like trait to have as an individual.
It's envy.
You know?
I feel like it's envy.
Everybody got envy, but it's like usually that's like the initial feeling. Like, okay, like I spoke about this with one other artist and everything. It's just like, yeah, you might go to the gym, you see somebody that might be like big and strong and everything. Like, dang, I wish I was like that and everything. Like, why do you get a? But then it's like, you know what? He probably worked hard to get there. Like, I need to work too. Yeah, like, and just, you instantly hit it with inspiration. Like, maybe I need to ask them questions and everything. And then you want to learn from them. And if they're cool people, then it's just like, which a lot of them, if they really been through some stuff and everything, you're gonna be like a chill person to work with other people. Yeah, this is the place I took, and this is how I got here. It's usually like the people who are usually more spoiled or used to just having things served them on a silver platter that they just can't relate. So they just instantly hate because they don't understand the sauce about it. But that's just how I see it. Like, how do you see it?
What, collaboration?
Not collaboration, but just the whole like this weird like wave of just people who just like to hate on other people.
I mean, hate's always been around. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like if nobody's hating, you're not doing nothing.
That's true.
You're not doing nothing.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying? So bring the hate.
Yeah.
Bring the hate.
Bring the
Engage with my posts. Give me that engagement. I love it. I love it. It feeds me. It's going to make me go even harder. So hate,
inspiration. But I feel like some people are kind of misled or like hater energy, and they think like that. They confuse that for charisma, and it's nothing charismatic about a dude that has to live like, or a woman, because I know women hate a man will hate a woman make hated kids. I think Kanye West said that one time. But it's just like this weird sense of just like they put them on a pedestal, like as if it means like their opinions are really that deep, and it's just an opinion.
Well, I mean, I think I was on the other podcast yesterday or Thursday or something like that. Or I think it was yesterday when we was just talking about social media, how social media has kind of given this false sense of like, just giving everybody an opinion, a platform to have an opinion on stuff they really shouldn't have an opinion on. Yeah,
and the likes and the reposts give it a false sense of credibility to the matter.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we choose popularity over credibility.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
some people just don't care. The larger percentage.
Yeah, but it's just like, I feel like in a sense that, once Charlotte learns to like embrace like our own culture and everything and our own sense of like identity as like just like, like, okay, yeah, we're the underdogs now. But I feel like, in this decade with all like the different artists from Chris Gear, Tia Corrine, well, even the baby too, because I know he's been doing stuff for a while and everything, but just leading the charge and everything. I feel like if we could all just build that community, that sense of just of consistency within like us creating works and working with each other and everything, I feel like it would draw more eyes from outside of Charlotte to be like, okay, this is something worth investing in. Maybe we should probably throw an event out here. We should do something like that, do more things. Because NCAA, how long was NCAA? Like, how long ago?
I think the last one was 2019.
Damn. Wow, so it's been 5 years now.
2019.
That is so sad.
I mean, but we need other things in place too. Like you look at Atlanta, like I think our like transportation, like trains, and like we have one light rail that goes through the greater part, but we need that to go this way. You know what I'm saying? That needs to stretch all the way to Rock Hill. Like there's just some other things that need to be put in place too. You know what I'm saying, for the city of Charlotte. But I'm sure they got a plan. So they got the money for it. I'll tell you that. They got the money for it.
For certain. All right, but in regards to your influences, do you have any other influences that may have led you to like doing podcasting? Like anybody in particular? Maybe Joe Rogan or maybe
podcasting? No, just cause no. Just when I got done running, I had a homie, Steven. He was doing radio at the time, but again, it was like audio form. I think Facebook had dropped Instagram Live, and we were just trying to figure out how we can just do it with our phones. That's basically what it was. And we knew we could do it. And we didn't know, it wasn't called podcasting. I mean, it was, but we didn't know it was podcasting. That's what we were just filming our own TV show or whatever you want to call it. That's what we were calling.
Little talk show. Little Howard
Stern
talk
show. Exactly.
Yeah, man. It's so crazy. But in your experiences with podcasting, because I know like you've been doing it since 2020. So like now it's been 4 years now, essentially.
Yeah. In front of the camera,
In front of the camera. Yeah. And I just want to ask, it's just like, what are some of the highs and lows of podcasting in your own experience?
Highs and lows.
We get deep on the Mental Touch podcast now.
Highs and lows of podcasting. I mean, I think realistically, you got to set some goals. You have to set some goals. Podcasting is not like a quick game. It's really like a marathon. You're in it for the long run for sure. So I think just trying to figure out how to make it work is definitely like something that everybody struggles with.
Yeah.
But once you do figure it out, it's good. It works for you. I feel like there's two types of podcasts. One is kind of just like an interview platform where you're interviewing somebody, which is good and bad. Because one, yes, it's just like an interview, but two, it's like you're kind of reliant on your guests, how viral or whatever your content will go. The other form is kind of just like a group discussion style podcast where you have multiple people on and you're all talking about this one subject or multiple subjects, et cetera, et cetera. But then in that case, you're able to talk about like topics in the world,
current
stuff
events.
Exactly, current events. And so that stuff's more likely to go like viral and everything. But, again, you're kind of stuck with the same hosts or whatever, unless you have like a special guest every once in a while.
Yeah. So not too many different perspectives that kind of roll into that as well. It's more consistent with the same things, which can be a good thing about it, because then like you can build a fan base, because then it'd be like, okay, yeah, I like how these people talk. I want it to be like this, and then there could be another guy like, yeah, they talk about these things, but I want to hear some more different opinions. Like maybe there's somebody that doesn't represent them in that matter of speech and everything. So it's just like, for me personally, I prefer the interview side of things, but I would like to branch out to that degree.
Yeah, and so then and then it's just like finding a medium for that, like figuring out how you can maybe bring in someone that you're going to interview and then talk about those current events, because those are going to be the clippable moments that might get the algorithm might catch it, or whatever the case may be. But just I think Lowe's trying to figure out how to get bigger artists on the platform. I think there's like an art to that somewhere. I'm trying to figure it out as we speak right now.
I feel like Lowe's in my degree will have to be like more just trying to find time to squeeze everything in, because especially if you have like a daytime job and you have like a weekend job, like in the day I work at LPL Financial like from 9 to 5:30,
right, and
then it's just like on the weekends I have to work at the strip club as a security guard Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm gonna work with you. I feel it.
I mean, yeah, but it's just on top of it, like there's just so many things, and on family and everything, trying to keep up with the artists coming on time, then you have to reschedule and everything. I had to reschedule like several just this week on the end and everything. And I always try to send the money like beforehand, just so I can be able to lock down time and stuff. And it's just like, and then it becomes a situation, what do they keep? What do they have to, another thing happen, they got to reschedule again. Is this person really serious? Are they going to pull up? And then it's just like, it's a lot that goes into that.
Now that you're kind of just talking about that, I will say like a big thing for all types of creators is just like your mental health.
Yeah. Since
we on Mental Threads podcast. Now for sure, just be aware like of your mental health. Because, like, I remember there was a time I was just, like, cranking out content, and it's just, like, you can get burnt out.
A lot.
Or you do too much, and then you're left with all this work, and you can't get it out in time, and then you stuck releasing an interview a year later or something like that. So just be aware.
And also, if you got a deadline, too. Like, I'm trying to get to 200 before the end of the year, but then I'm just like, does it have to be the end of the year?
Yes, it has to
and
be
everything. So you try to push it to that point, and it's just like, but you don't want to overdo it, because you got other things you got to do. Like, I want to do music again, too, and I just left the studio, like, last week and everything. And it's just like, after when you're trying to get the cobwebs out again, it's like, okay, I need some time to really, like,
gotta pick a focus, man. Pick a focus and triple down on it. And I say whatever's working for you, you know what I'm saying? That's probably what you should triple down on, whatever's closest to bringing you more. I mean, at this point, at our age, it's like money. Yeah. Like, what's bringing you more money? You know what I'm saying? Money and happiness.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just on top of it, you can work with both in a sense. Cause I'm more focused on the content side of things. I feel like once you make good quality content and enough of good quality content, or with enough consistency and everything, you can be able to like just let the content speak for itself. Right. So that way, that's why I pride myself on having so many different episodes, because like there's so many different perspectives. There's always something for someone else to get into, and it's not just artists, but even though educators. Like I even interviewed a police officer and everything. So it's just stuff like that. You don't have to be like in like a box,
No, for sure.
That's what I really like about it. Yeah. So it's just like, I know you're about to say something. What were you about to say?
No, never mind. never mind.
Okay, never mind. But it's like, that's why I really pride myself off, because I feel like it just takes a certain type of person to really be a podcaster and to relate with somebody. That's why Joe Rogan is so successful with it. Although he's had his controversies, of course.
For sure.
But it's just at the same time, it's like you can have like Snoop Dogg on one day, and then you can have Elon Musk another
day. Yeah. Talk about anything
anything.
From weed to aliens to fighting to it's like everything.
And it's just like he just had Jelly Roll, and it's just like I love like when he has like people that like I really want to hear from. And like I ain't a big country music person, but when you hear like the speech from like when he first got like best new country music artist award, he was damn near 40, and then he just went on a speech like, hey yo, it's just when your time's ready, it's time ready, and it goes on. That's like, hey, I like this guy. I want to hear more from this guy. And it's just like it just has to be in depth with you and everything. Some people don't have necessarily the discipline, or in a sense like the certain mindset to really like connect with other people and everything. Like I just feel like that's just
they have main characters. That's really what it is.
Yeah, it's just maybe that could be something about it, but it's just like it really cuts into nature and everything. Right. People who are truly empathetic, really can really transition to be like an actor, or they want to, just like with the medical field as well, because actors have a sense of like understanding the perception emotions of so many different people to a person that doesn't even exist. But when they portray that person, it feels so real and everything. Like, think about Michael Fassbender being like Magneto. You ain't never met a person who actually magnetates anything, but
when he does it, you believe it type shit.
And exactly, and is a mutant and actually been through the Holocaust and stuff like that. But he brings it such humanity to that character that it's just like you put him right next to Ian McKellen, and it's just like like they're the same person, but not really. You know? And I feel like this is a wonderful thing about different art forms and stuff. And I feel like podcasting is an art form.
It is. I agree.
And everything. So it's just like, in terms of interviews, what are some of your favorite interviews?
Favorite interviews? I don't know if I have favorite interviews. I'll just say like platforms. I like No Jumper. I like their business model. That's what I'll say I like about them. I like I like No Jumper. I like there's this podcast called Back on Fig.
Oh, okay.
I like them. I like Academics. I like Joe Budden podcast. I like that's basically it. It's a couple more like Bootleg Kev. A couple of other people that do their things. But those are kind of just podcasts that I tend to emulate because they're more like interview style platforms.
I really like Drink Champs and everything because I'm very much hip hop centric. So it's just like sometimes it's just like with a lot of these like interviews, it's like they'll be trying to like get the artist to say something they don't want to say or just try to get in their business. Or Drink Champs, okay, let's drink. What's your favorite artist? Like it's just like
let me kind of just go back on all of that.
Yeah,
let me go back on all of that. Let me just give a shout out to these 3 platforms that they gave inspiration to Mouthin out. So one is Aquafina. Okay. She had a talk show that she's like self-indie produced, and it was called Aquafina Talk, but TAWK. Do you know who Aquafina is? She's like an Asian.
Yeah, she was in Shang-Chi. I remember with the New York voice. Excellent.
Super underrated, but I fucks with her. Aquafina. Another one is Danny Brown. Danny Brown, he had his own little talk show.
I know him as an artist. I know about a podcast.
He's got his own. I think it was it Adult Swim? It was either Adult Swim or Viceland. One of them started making a show, but it's dope. And another one is Andre. Andre. Goddamn, what's the name of the show? Fucking oh my god.
It's okay. You look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
My mind goes blank sometimes.
Who is it? Andre 3000 got a podcast? Like, who Andre?
Bruh runs his intro is him running through his desk.
Oh, are you talking about Andre on Adult Swim?
Yes.
Hold on. I forgot.
I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's okay.
I'm talking to the camera. I usually have this in my head already down. I'm so sorry, Andre.
Eric Andre show?
Yes. Eric Andre show. Masterpiece. That guy's a genius. Those 3 is hopefully what I want to turn Mouthin out into.
Oh, okay. That's dope. That's really, really cool. But when I asked is like your favorite interview, I meant like not podcast. I meant like people that you've spoken to in the past. You ain't really have like favorite.
Of my interviews. Like,
this is your. That's like you. That's what we're focused on. You who interviewed other people.
Favorite interview
that you've done.
I think my King Carter interview was a favorite of mine. He dropped a lot of jewels and everything like that.
Oh, dope.
For sure. King Carter.
Is one of your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's one favorite. You ain't got no other favorites after that.
Yeah, I got others, but I mean, that one's a good one. I think I did this interview with an artist named Sugar Hill D-Dot. He's from up north. He's like a drill artist. He's 16, but his fan base super
deep.
Into it. They come.
Okay,
that's the one. That's probably it. I mean, all my other ones are good too. Like Deniro, I got him. I got a lot. I think like an interview with Sauce Walker and Scarlett. Those are 2 funny interviews.
Oh, funny interviews. Yeah. Okay. And from my experience, I would say like one of my favorite. Okay, we're getting close to like the 20-minute. So I forgot. I gotta leave the track on it. I don't want it to go up. I don't know if
commercial break.
Yeah, something like that. But let me just let them know before I go. I'm glad I actually took a look. What's that? 2 minutes. But it's like from my experience, like for my favorites that I've done and everything, it's just like from all time, I would say like I really liked the interview I did back in college when I did with the dean of my business school, because I was a business student, with Dean Anthony Nelson. Yeah, because he when he came into the school, it was around the same time I came into the school. So I was showing up at a lot of his town halls and everything before everyone. And it's because I was showing up and that he see me around a whole lot. He put me to the Dean's Advisory Council, which we didn't really do much of anything. But it was still good that they considered you. So he dropped a whole lot of gems about business on that and everything. Yeah. We were close. And also, it's just like I really like the one I did with like the police officer. What was his name? I know. I can't believe McPherson. Yes, Officer McPherson and everything, because he was like he was a college police officer. So it's like we got into a conversation about like mental health and everything. We talked about like a lot about hip hop and everything and martial arts. It was like dope. Yeah, it was just like literally talking. It's just like this is like a white guy, like police officer in a time where it was very a whole lot of turbulency was going on, especially with the George Floyd situation and everything with like police brutality. Yes, they did. That was a time, man. I remember
crazy.
I remember I was literally in the not the riots, but in the protests and everything with my poster boards. And
was out there protesting.
And I'm like uptown. I'm like, I'm stupid as fuck. Because like, what if somebody pulled up with a machine gun and just waste all of us out,
everybody,
and everything, and I ain't got no bullet. They actually hit us with tear gas. They actually closed us in and hit us with tear gas. I was coughing. So what I thought I was gonna die. It hurt so
shit
bad.
Crazy.
It was so crazy. But
definitely more tactical.
But I really liked that episode for sure. I really enjoyed this episode I did with an artist from Maryland. His name was Syndicate and everything. We just hit it out pretty well and everything. We spoke for like 2 hours, and I was just like when I was doing it just off a microphone and everything. But it's just like a general amount of my favorite episodes usually come when we can have genuine conversations and everything, and I can get a whole lot of gems at the same time. But just have a friendly conversation and stuff like that. I always really held those up in high regard, because in the same time you gotta love what you do regardless of what you do and everything. And I like to talk to people. You don't even realize that until you really put it into action.
That's the most important thing. The most important thing about the podcast in the world is, yes, you need like cameras, good cameras, and I mean, first is definitely the audio, whatever. But when it all boils down, you want to have a good conversation. It's a good conversation, whatever you're talking about, the topic, that's what people are coming to listen to.
For certain. So in terms of like when you're going to relocate to LA and everything, because I know I saw somewhere you're doing like a GoFundMe and everything to do like a Mouthin Out bus. And
there we go. That journalism.
I had to put it out there. I do my research, man. But it's just like, with the idea of doing like a Mouthin Out podcast, which I think is really, really dope, by the way.
Thank you.
And everything. But it's just like in regards to that matter, it's like what really like led you to kind of like push that direction? Like I need a bus.
Yes, we are doing a mobile podcast van. Basically what we're looking to do is kind of like the FedEx vans or like the UPS type style vans.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have that, but on the inside we want to put 2 glass, or probably just one side, 1 glass, and then we'll have it in there. Really what it is like, I've done all of these interviews, what I'm saying? I've traveled, I've had time to see other cities, towns, and everything. One thing about Charlotte and surrounding towns is like I've said before, like artists, we have a ton of talent, but they don't necessarily have a platform they can go on, voice their opinion, et cetera, et cetera. Majority of them don't know how to get on Power 98 or whatever the premier radio stations is. So, that's the reason why one of the reasons why I started Mouthin Out, to give them a voice. As I'm traveling, doing these tours, I'm noticing there's a million of these towns and cities across the nation with artists that are just looking for somebody to hear them out, to hear their story, to promote their music, whatever. They're all trying to make it. There's so many artists, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
So if I have this van, I won't need to rent out a studio, try to find a studio. True. And I won't also need to rent a car.
Just have to keep it insured. That's
right.
It.
Exactly. So those are 2 expenses that are lessened if I have this. And I'll also have like, professional equipment. Everything will look A1. I won't have to, settle for it looking like shit. Having a crappy interview wherever I go.
Yeah, man, that's great. That's actually very ambitious. In a sense, it's weird because it's like, in a weird sense, you're kind of setting up the blueprint. Because when I first saw that you were doing like the Mouthin Out podcast, like literally like for 24 hours, which was it in this room? Was in the room?
It was in this room.
This very room, which is weird because the setup is so different.
It is. We're up against that wall. This was all open and everything.
Yeah, and it's just like, I think it's just such a great thing because it's just like if you're taking that step, and especially for Charlotte, it's really hard to be the person to have to take the first step to do something new and everything. So I have to really, give you compliments for that as well.
Thank you, bro.
And
Appreciate it.
And it's just like, I know it could be really tough at first and everything when you want to do something new and everything with like a podcast van. I never heard nobody else doing a podcast van. Have you heard anybody doing a podcast van?
I mean, there's podcasts. There's like nobody around here for show, but just like there's a couple of podcasts that they do it on a camper van.
Oh, camper van.
The only one that sticks out to me is Steve-O from Bam. His show is on
Jackass Steve-O.
Yeah, okay. Jackass. His show is on a camper van.
Of course you watch Jackass. Why would you not watch Jackass? You watch Eric Andre. That's so great and everything. It's and the thing is, podcasting, it's not new, but it's still pretty fresh at the same time.
No,
it's like a media
it's like if we look
platform.
If we were able to like zoom out to what like podcasting will look like in 100 years type of thing, like it's super fresh, super new, even though it's so many people in it already.
I've kind of already did. I know Joe Rogan did it way back early 2000s. I think before. I think it was like a radio show. I think that's what it was.
Everybody. It was audio. Everything was audio before. Now it's video slowly catching up.
And he makes a lot of his bread and butter off of it too. And everything, interviewing like a lot of people. Like Elon Musk smoked a joint on his show. Like that's historical now.
Nah, Joe Rogan's number one. He has I was looking at the list of like Spotify listeners. It's like I don't know what the exact numbers are, but everybody's like 32 million, 33 million. And his jumps up to like 100 million. So it's like he's like killing the game for sure.
Yeah, man. That's all the man of just like, just knowing what your value is as an individual, understanding your gifts, and being interpersonal, being one that everyone kind of gets along with. That'll take you far. Like think like Mac Miller. Like nobody was beefing with Mac Miller at all and everything.
That we know.
Of. But generally, like he seems like the kind of guy that you want to chill with and everything.
For sure.
Like not the kind of guy that's like gave you weirdo type vibes. Like, oh, this guy's gonna backdoor me or
nah.
Like, oh no,
just chilling.
I'm not Mac Miller. That's not my real name. My name is like Steve Lazinski, man. I'm Scandinavian.
Right.
It's not a character. So like I feel like being authentic is very, 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 very important too.
Right.
And everything. But it's like in terms of like back to you though, it's like what are some crazy interviews that you've done personally?
Crazy. I think my Scarlett interview was probably like the craziest. No, two. Yeah, Scarlett and Sauce Walker. I'm gonna just talk about those two. So Scarlett,
and Scarlett's really good too.
She's from up north.
Yeah,
and she's from I think the Bronx. She's from the Bronx, but she is very like this energy she gives off is very aggressive. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. So my first interaction with her, I was like, "What is New York like for someone that's never been there, or the Bronx, whatever?" I said. She's like, I forgot what she said. It's deadly or it's crazy. You wouldn't survive there. And she's like grilling me, going in on me, just cutting me up. It was so funny the way I cut it up and everything. Hers, it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
I gotta check that out.
Yes. And then another one was Sauce Walker. He didn't say a single word throughout the whole interview.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a standing interview. I was trying to get him to do an interview at South by Southwest. And he said he was down, but like I could tell he wasn't trying to do it. So I told my cameraman, I was just like, roll. So he turned on his light, he was rolling, and then we walked over to him. I was like, so what up, Sauce Walker? So he stood there, and then he started doing like martial art poses. Well, first he was just, posing. He wasn't saying that, and I was asking questions. I was like, so how you feeling? He was just like, and he started doing martial art poses into the camera. Dang. Pulled out a water cast, took off his boot, held it up to his head like a cell phone. Ain't say a single word the whole time, then dapped me up after. I was like, well, that's the end of that.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
I think craziest episode I ever did was the one with like a guy, Mr. Moses. I don't know, cause I live on East Side Charlotte. I'm not sure if you've been on the East Side at all, but they got this guy with dreads that just kind of sits there and he would just kind of like shout into traffic and everything, kind of teaching or whatever. I don't know. People on East Side know who I'm talking about, but it's just like it's just like it's kind of hard to explain. He's a really cool individual and everything, very very outspoken, very wise, but just the way he went about it, it was just like okay, like I didn't say anything barely through the whole. He just went off. Damn. Off like like some like
got something to say,
like the people that kind of wrap their head in like tin foil and everything, so like aliens wouldn't read their brains or something like that. Yeah, he would do something, but it wasn't like tin foil. It was like a literal construction helmet. And he just put it out his back, just put it on, and just started
going in.
I'm gonna send you that link.
Yeah, send me that. I want to check it out
because I'm just like, wow. I just started like.
It's on YouTube?
Yes.
What's the title of it? So
the title of it is just Mr. Moses or Prince 7. So it's just like, but anyway, you can just really subscribe to the Mental Threads podcast and everything to see all the live episodes as well as the previous episodes and everything, that didn't have any video. Dope. So everything's on YouTube now, which I'm very, very much happy about because I've been wanting to go to YouTube for a while and everything. So it was good that I actually got to get that situated. And so it's just like, and closing because we're going to get pretty close and everything. Would you encourage others to get into podcasts? If so, why?
Yeah, definitely, especially in the Charlotte area, or really just anywhere. Just because everybody can't be a fucking rapper. Mm-hmm. Everybody can't be an actor. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be the film director, whatever. Just podcasting is just another art form, just like being on the radio. It's just another art form, a place for you to show your talking abilities, or it can be therapeutic for you. Just a place for you to create your own environment. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just very important for people to find a niche or just something that they can do that they can make their own. So if you think like you have the gift of gab, or you need to be on camera, or you can host your own show, then podcasting is just kind of like an intro to that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. Gift the gab is very, very important because like you don't know. Like one time I had an interview with a guy that just barely spoke at all. Exactly. And you had to like push the whole interview, like asking him question after question to get something.
Yeah, it's like it's an art. It's an art for sure to like hosting or just journalism itself. Like you as a host, when you have those situations, you have to figure out how to pull it out of them, how to make them feel comfortable so they do talk or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for sure.
And always do your research on who you got on if it's an interview style and everything. You don't want to have them on, you don't know anything about them at all.
So my first, 300 interviews, I didn't do research at all. But I found out, for any of you who do are nervous on camera or doing interviews or anything, the more you prepare, the less nervous you'll be for sure.
And and for me, as an artist myself and everything, it's just when you're getting in conversation with people, cause you get spam messages all the time. It's like, oh, yo, you're dope. Your songs are so very dope. It's like, oh, really? Which one do you like? That one song you did, it was like this one thing I liked on SoundCloud. It's I forgot what it was like Tomorrow or something like that. It's like that song Tomorrow. That's the song I like. It's like, what are you talking? I didn't make no song called Tomorrow. Didn't even get it mixed up. They were spam. Didn't even get it. Got red-handed and everything. That was a song that I liked, or reposted, but that's in the song I made. And everything, but it's nothing against them or whatever, because everybody got to make their bread and butter some way. Some people like to scam, some people to work and do some other things, but it's at the same time I feel like it's very important and respectful to the artist to really just check in and everything, even if you're just checking in the day of and everything, taking the time out to actually listen to their song, find which one that you like the most, what you didn't like and everything, and then having a conversation with it, because it kind of helps us as the artist kind of has self-reflect. Okay, I didn't think people would like this song, or I see what you meant about with this song, because it takes a lot of care and everything, and a lot of respect to actually delve into somebody's art and everything, and actually critique it, constructively, if not compliment it constructively. It's just from that sense, it just gives us a sense of, I don't want to say affirmation, because you don't want to have to reflect your success on what other people think, but it gives a sense, okay, I'm going somewhere with it, type stuff. But at the same time, I know you spoke about mental health in regards to podcasting and everything. There's a chance that maybe
content creation,
you get overwhelmed from time to time.
Hell yeah. That editing is no joke, bro.
Yes.
I be going through it. I'm not gonna lie. Anytime I do a fuck ton of interviews, I fucking go through it. I go through phases where I'm just sitting in my house in the dark, like, I gotta do these interviews. Then I'll crank a bunch of them out, and then I'll be like, fuck, I gotta upload them, send them to everybody, then promote them, all this other shit. Yeah. So I just pace yourself, everybody. Pace yourself. Sometimes quantity over quality isn't always the best.
Yeah, sometimes it does, but at the same time, you got to get some stuff out, though. So it's like a balance. It's like a balance.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, pace yourself, balance yourself. You know what I'm saying? Work smart, not hard, type of thing.
Very much work smart and not hard and stuff. And it's just like, even going off for people who want to do like podcasting and everything too, always be mindful of everybody's time. And whether if you're working in somebody else's studio, working with another artist, and also your time as well, for your loved ones and your responsibilities, and that's just with everything that you do, a hobby, whatever it is, you got to make time for everything. Always set up a schedule for yourself. That's always good. Do things ahead of time, have everything set up ahead of time, and don't do things just the day of, because then it's just like the day could switch up like that. We had freaking 2 hurricanes now, and everything, and a lot of people are going through it who probably had a lot of plans and everything. So it's just like, it's always
fucked up.
It's always good, to just, be more self-reflective and like what your abilities might be and everything, but at the same time, challenge yourself to hold yourself accountable for what you have set up in the future. So accountability and responsibility. That's just what everything that you have in life, what your obligations are, and then focus on your obligations to your hobbies and your interests as well. Okay, so it's just like we only got like a couple minutes left and everything. So are there any like final words you have to go off on for other people, just in general and in the world and Charlotte and so on?
Don't wait till you have like everything you need or till it's perfect. Just do it. Just do it. Start it with whatever you have. Just do it.
Yes, Shia LaBeouf was not screwing around when he said that. When I first heard that quote, I thought he was like, man, look at this.
He's real.
But it's like, he's really is real with that.
There's
he's
layers
really smart.
to that.
It's very, very smart. Yeah. Oh, and on the same that, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I'm trying to be the next media icon, people. I'm trying to be the next media icon. So however that is, however that comes, I'm trying to be rich, famous. I'm trying to impact the world, and I'm trying to be the next media icon.
Mm-hmm. And what represents success for you? Like immediate success? I know that's like the
immediate success.
Like, yeah, that's like,
it's different. Like it changes every day. You know what I'm saying? What I do is I have, I guess you could call them long-term goals. I set goals and I have smaller goals to get to those goals. So as long as I'm hitting those goals, those are success. Celebrate the small wins, people.
Yes, celebrate the small wins.
Follow me, Adrian Nyce. On social media, ADRIENNYCE, and you can tap in my podcast, Mouthin Out, MOUTHINOUT podcast. Vote for me for Queen City in the Queen City Awards, Mouthin Out podcast of the year, and also donate to the campaign.
Yes,
help us build this mobile podcast, fam.
Yeah, that fundraiser and everything. Yes, I'll be sure to drop the link on the description on YouTube for sure,
please. And
everything. I just want to say before we go off that I'm proud of you for sure. I know, like, I love that. You got to hear it. You got to hear it, man.
My dog.
You got to hear it, bro. Because I know, like, going into this whole
I'm proud of you
and everything,
too, bro.
Oh yeah, no, things changed a whole lot. You see, it's all thanks to you. All this thing happened right now the way it is all because of you. And I mentioned you so many times on the podcast and everything. It just goes to show that you got to step out of your shell and everything to meet up. If you want to actually see some form of change in your life and everything, you got to tap in with people who think differently and everything. And you're the one who actually took the steps to actually get something situated of a live podcast. So this is all under your this is bounced off your blueprint here.
No. I sparked the idea, but it's you out here putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Getting it done, coming up with your own brand, getting these people in here doing these interviews. You know what I'm saying? So give yourself credit too, and I'm sure you do too. But just you know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you too, bro.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's Mouthin Out Podcast, Mental Threats Podcast collaboration.
Yeah.
We sewing in and then we're sewing out.
Hey.
All right, cool. I'm going to just let the guy know and everything. So we like get this closed out and everything. We pretty much talked about everything.
Okay, that's good. So we done.
Yeah, basically.
All right, we up. No, that's cool. Here, I'm going to get a couple of like, let's act like we talking.
Oh, snap. Hold on. You better go on live or something? Or?
Nah, I'm just getting some clips. Just like.
Get those clips.
Clips. Get those clips.
Not the glue. Oh, and I got to send you that dang what you call it? That freaking that Charlotte Sparks situation that Trey
yes,
was.
yes.
Yes, for sure.